Let's take a look at this post-merger return on equity problem. Kelly Tubes is considering a merger with Riley Tires. Riley's market-determined beta is 0.9, and the firm currently is financed with 20% debt at an interest rate of 8%, and its tax rate is 25%. If Kelly acquires Riley, it will increase the debt to 60% at an interest rate of 9%, and the tax rate will increase to 35%. The risk-free rate is 6%, and the market risk premium is 4%. What will Riley's required rate of return on equity be after it's acquired? Okay, well, let's pick out the facts that we need to know. First off, we see that the target company, that's Riley, has a beta of 0.9. And the firm has current financing at 20% at a level of 20% debt, which means then it's 80% equity financed, and the debt has an interest rate of 8%, and its tax rate is 25%. Then when we consider what happens after Kelly acquires Riley, we see that they believe the total company debt will rise to 60% at an interest rate of 9%, and the total company tax rate will increase to 35%. All right, now let's take a look at how we solve this problem to determine the required rate of return on equity for the combined entity. All right, there's three formulas we need to use. First, we use the CAPM formula, and then we use two different versions of the unlevered cost of equity formula. Let's focus on CAPM first. We need to calculate the current required rate of return to Riley's equity. Using CAPM, we know that we take the risk-free rate, which was given at 6%, and then we add to it a term that multiplies the beta for the target company times the risk premium of the market. So when we take the 6% plus the 90% beta, or 0.9 beta, times the 4% risk premium for the market, we come up with a required rate of return to Riley, the target company, of 9.6%. Then we need to calculate Riley's unlevered cost of equity. And using one version of that formula, we consider the weights of debt to the required rate of return, or the weights of equity. So we know we had a 20% debt factor, and we multiply that times an 8% cost of debt, and then we add to it an 80% stock weighting factor, and we get that by taking 1 minus the 20% debt weighting that was given in the problem, and we multiply that stock weighting times the required rate of return we just calculated using the CAPM model of 9.6%. So when we multiply the two terms out, we come up with an unlevered cost of equity for the target company of 9.28%. Next, and to solve the problem, to finish solving it, we calculate the target company's levered cost of equity at the new capital structure with the new cost of debt. So, using the other version of the unlevered cost of equity, we first take the unlevered cost of equity of the target company that we calculated as being 9.28%, and then we add to it the 9.28% minus the cost of debt multiplied by the ratio of D to S. And when we take the ratio of D to S and multiply it out, we come up with 9.7%. Now remember, D stands for the percentage of the total company that would be financed with debt, and it was given at 60%, and therefore S would be 1 minus D, the percentage of the company financed with stock, at 40%. And using this calculation, we've solved the problem. We've calculated the levered cost of equity at the new capital structure with the new cost of debt.